Okay, so this is our response video to Confidentiality. I'm Peyton and my partner is
Alex.
and we're responding to Nolan and Vanessa's video where they talked about the situation between the patient coming in and saying that he was going to harm an unnamed girl, and the psychiatric doctor reporting it to the campus police and then nothing being done about it. So
Yeah, so I did notice when Nolan was talking about it, or maybe it was Vanessa, I'm not sure. When they were talking about it, though, they said that the male had told the psychiatric doctor that he wanted to hurt that specific woman, and we went back and checked the article, and it actually said that it was an unnamed female that he had wanted to harm. So I don't know that I would agree with the fact that they could have done anything in that moment. Because at that point, I mean, who are they supposed to warn when they don't know who he wants to harm? So when they said that, that they thought that the family was right in saying that the woman and her family should have been warned about the death threats or the harm that was aimed towards her, I don't think that they would have been able to do that, considering they didn't actually know who he wanted to harm.
So then the security was in an odd situation because was it breaking confidentiality?
And then I think at that point it also starts to, oh God, I'm so sorry. My cat just pulled my charger off my computer. I think it also becomes like a rights issue, because if you arrest someone for saying that they wanted to hurt an unnamed person, I mean, do we have the right to do that? Is it fair to arrest someone when they didn't do anything? They didn't say a specific person. Like, can it be considered premeditated if they don't have a specific person in mind? So I don't know that actually was an issue with security not, at least not warning the family. I don't know that I would agree with them having arrested him, but yeah.
I don't know if they took it more seriously because they know he just went through a breakup. So maybe they probably jumped the gun a little bit. But because if it was a different situation where someone just said, I'm gonna punch someone or something like that, I don't think they would have taken it as seriously. But because something happened in his life that might actually cause him to commit a crime on somebody, and specifically, it might be different. But because it was unnamed, it's still the same situation, sort of, kind of.
Agree. Yeah, no, for sure. Then yeah, I also wrote down one quote that I kind of took from the article that I agreed with, really, was the protective privilege ends where the public peril begins. And then Nolan and Vanessa actually did say that as well. And I think that is definitely a good way of looking at it. I think that it is a physician's, whether it's a psychiatric doctor or not, I think it is their responsibility if they know that someone's going to harm someone else. I mean, it is their responsibility to say something, but I think the hard part is determining when it's going from a, I want to an I'm going to statement. And I think that that is a significant factor in when they should be breaching confidentiality.
Yeah.
And I also, I think that, like, for me, when I was thinking about it, like, to me, if I go into a psychiatric doctor's office and I'm like, I'm going to kill my ex-boyfriend, like, obviously I would expect the doctor to report that, like, if I'm saying that I want to hurt someone. So I don't really disagree, or I don't really agree with the fact that that's breaching confidentiality, because
yeah, I don't either.
I'm being dumb.
Yeah. But that also goes like onto something else that they brought up, which was the patient knowing the confidentiality rules, so they wouldn't share that information. I think it's right that they know what they're getting into, but I think it's also harmful because they don't share the information and then they go and harm somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. It's like stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Very much so.
I am so sorry.
It's okay.
He wants to be in it too. Yeah, so I definitely agree with, what they were saying about how everyone has a right to their confidentiality up to a point. I think
Mhm,
that's a
mhm.
fair way of saying it. And I don't really have a way of getting around, the whole, well, if I know that the doctor is going to tell on me, I'm not going to tell him,
Yeah,
I don't really know what a good way to get around that is, other than
right.
maybe like just having a general understanding. Like, I feel like it should be common sense that,
Yeah,
yeah, if you tell someone you're going to hurt someone else, you're going to get in trouble.
and maybe I don't think people understand that, like, sharing that information could actually help them. I don't know, 'cause in some cases when, people hurt other people, I don't know, I watch Criminal Minds, they end up hurting
Yeah,
themselves as well, or
agreed.
they could avoid a whole situation
Hmm.
just by telling it because then that doctor is gonna inform someone else.
Agreed.
But yeah.
And I feel like if it's someone that actually wants to be helped in that sense,
Mhm,
they'll tell them whether or not they know they're going to get in trouble for it.
mhm,
So I think that kind of eliminates that, which is I think what you were getting at.
mhm.
I think it eliminates that worry where people won't admit to it,
Yeah,
at least in those circumstances where they want to be helped rather than they want to do harm.
and they have to understand that the doctor is going to help. They're not just there to, I don't know, sit and
Yeah, you
judge. It's like not their
uh-huh.
job. Mhm.
Right. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Okay, I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
Okay,
All right.
figure out how to stop this.
I don't know